India's economy has demonstrated remarkable resilience despite challenging external conditions, according to the World Bank's latest India Development Update titled Navigating the Storm. Although the deteriorating external environment will affect India's growth prospects, the report finds that the country is relatively well positioned to weather global spillovers compared to most other emerging markets. The World Bank has revised its 2022-23 GDP forecast for India upwards to 6.9% from 6.5%, taking into account the strong performance in the second quarter of the 2022-23 financial year. Despite facing challenges, the update expects India to register strong GDP growth and remain one of the fastest-growing major economies in the world, thanks to robust domestic demand. India's economy is relatively insulated from global spillovers compared to other emerging markets. This is due in part to India's large domestic market and its relatively low exposure to international trade flows. The report finds that a 1% decline in U.S. growth is associated with a 0.4% decline in India's growth. However, the negative effect of declining U.S. growth is around 1.5 times larger for other emerging economies, including China. Over the past decade, India's external position has improved considerably. The current account deficit is adequately financed by improving foreign direct investment inflows and a solid cushion of foreign exchange reserves. India has one of the largest holdings of international reserves globally. Policy reforms and prudent regulatory measures have also played a key role in developing resilience in the economy. Increased reliance on market borrowings has improved the transparency and credibility of fiscal policy, and the government has diversified the investor base for government securities. The introduction of a formal inflation targeting framework during the past decade was an important step in lending credibility to monetary policy decisions. The report notes that both levers of macroeconomic policy, fiscal and monetary, have played a role in managing the challenges that have emerged over the past year. The Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Review Policy Committee's review maintained that real gross domestic product increased by 6.3% year-on-year. Economic activity in the third quarter of the current fiscal year is exhibiting resilience. In the agriculture sector, Rabi sowing has picked up with a 6.4% increase over the previous year, supported by the good progress of the northeast monsoon and above average reservoir levels. Activity in the industry and services sectors is in expansion mode, as reflected in purchasing managers' indices and other economic indicators. Aggregate demand is in good shape due to pent-up spending and discretionary expenditures during the festival season. Urban demand has remained buoyant and rural demand is recovering. Investment activity is in modest expansion. Merchandise exports contracted in October after an expansion for 19 consecutive months, while growth in non-oil, non-gold imports decelerated. At a time when other South Asian economies like Pakistan and Sri Lanka are facing crises due to several reasons such as Sri Lanka's economic crisis, Pakistan's catastrophic floods, global slowdown and the impact of the war in Ukraine, India has remained a bright spot and beacon of hope for the region. The Indian economy has demonstrated remarkable resilience despite external challenges. The country is expected to register strong GDP growth, and its domestic demand will continue to be the driving force behind this growth. While the deteriorating external environment will affect India's growth prospects, the country is relatively well positioned to weather global spillovers compared to most other emerging markets.